So a lot of people are going to look at this video and probably use it as some type of console warring fanboy nonsense, but that's not what this is about at all. This is about the fact that right now, this generation of console gaming has been absolutely awful, and PlayStation being the industry giant, being the top dog on the poll, like they just haven't been releasing anything. And the fact that we get situations where there has been upcoming cancellations after cancellations, 9 cancellations of PlayStation games, to me that is just absolutely ludicrous, and I can't believe that this is coming from PlayStation, who is supposed to be the gold standard of gaming. This is just something that's just not acceptable. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Robert Storms. If you guys can do me a favor, smash that like and subscribe button. This is just going to be me discussing what's been going on in the world of gaming. This is not me console warring for either console, because I play on PC, so I really have no stakes in any of the console. This is not console warring. But the thing with PlayStation, they just have no games this generation, and this has been a problem since really the tail end of the PS4. Whenever Jim Ryan really kind of came in, PlayStation has kind of really fell with their quality of games. And I know what people are saying. People are probably like this dude right here, where it's like, what do you mean we have no games? Like, look at the games that we have. Yes, let's look at these games that this guy has showed. So let's pop up and look at these games. Wukong, it's a third-party game. That's not a Sony published game, but let's keep going. Final Fantasy, that's a Square Enix game. Stellar Blade, that's not a first-party game. Helldivers is a first-party game because they bought the developers, so they do own that. Silent Hill is also not a first-party game, and Astrobot is one of their small indies over, or not small indies, but one of their small devs over in Japan. So out of these 6 games that this guy has just posted, 2 of these games are the only Sony-produced games. The rest of them are all games that they had contracts with for exclusivity. These games will all be going to other platforms at one form or another. Wukong is on PC already. Final Fantasy is going on PC in a week or two. I believe Silent Hill is on PC. I could be wrong on that one. But all these games are all third-party games. Sony has only released those 2 games. And then Sony released games like Concord, which lasted, like a week, and it was gone. The problem that is going on right now is Sony has this thing going on where they're trying to do all these live service games, and it's just not working for them. This is the list of all their cancellations. Concord, taken down offline after a week. The unannounced God of War live service game. Why would you do that to God of War? Last of Us Factions never happened. The Spider-Man live service game, not going. Ben Studio, that was canceled. Twisted Metal, which should have came out. A live service Twisted Metal free-to-play would have worked. Canceled. And then the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And then you got Marathon announced, Fair Games, the Horizon game coming up, this is like just it's absolutely awful the way PlayStation is right now. Like, I remember back when we were getting bangers after bangers after bangers from PlayStation. Like, we would get God of War 1, 2, Uncharted 1, 2, 3. Like, we would just get all types of bangers. And now we just look at this and like, what happened to the studio? Did your balls drop? What happened? Like, you're all live serviced, and none of these games, like Concord, the fact that they spent so much money on Concord and that game didn't last a month is absolutely ridiculous. Then you look at something like Marvel Rivals that's come out, and it's just banging, man. It has the IP, it has good fun. No one wants to play Concord with those horrible character designs and try to have Agenda Thrones crap shoved in our face. I do think a Twisted Metal, I think, like, out of this list, the Last of Us Factions could have worked. Twisted Metal 100% could have worked. You could have thrown in a Killzone live service, a SOCOM live service. Have a good game as your base, and then build onto that. Like, I've been playing a lot of First Descendants. It's a good base game that's free to play, and then guess what? When something comes out, like a new skin or something, I'll drop like 10, 15 bucks on it, because I'm having a fun time playing a free game. That's what Sony needs to do. If they're so hell-bent on this live service stuff, then go in and put together good stuff. Twisted Metal 100% could have worked. Factions could have worked, but they focused their time on stuff like Concord and Fair Games and all this crazy crap. Like, give people what they want. Like, in what world do we live in where we have a God of War live service game being discussed? It's just like, no. That doesn't make no sense. Don't do that. Just don't do that. And another thing I want to point out here is where the narrative kind of switched, where it says PlayStation has no, like, I feel like PlayStation this generation has no games. Everything has been a remaster, a remake, third party. That's it. There has been some stuff. I'm not gonna sit there and sugarcoat say there has not been some stuff, but a lot of their exclusive, God of War Ragnarok was on PS4. Horizon Forbidden West, PS4. You know, like, these games are all on PS4. These are all first-party games that are also on PS4. So these are not PS5 exclusives. And then some of the PS5 exclusives you have, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, these are third-party games. But the narrative has always been, well, Xbox has no games. Well, when you look at Xbox, you look at their upcoming slate, like look at these games that they got coming out. Doom Dark Ages, Avowed, Fable, South of Midnight, Towerborn, The Outer Worlds 2, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. Now, a lot of these games are going to be multi-platform. I'm not saying these are exclusives. I'm talking about first-party games. Doom Dark Ages is a first-party game. Avowed is a first-party game. Fable, South of Midnight. These are all first-party games. Microsoft also, like, they lit a fire on first-party games last year. Indiana Jones was a banger. I enjoyed Hellblade 2. A lot of people didn't. I did. I enjoyed it. You had Flight Simulator, Indiana Jones, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Like they're releasing big banger games. So this whole narrative to where, like, Xbox has no games, that's just not true. Like, I think that Microsoft really turned that around, and people don't want to give them credit. And really, PlayStation fans should be thanking Xbox because they're getting a lot of those games. So it's going to help build out their library. But unfortunately, PlayStation, they turned into the company that has no games. They are now the company that has no games. Microsoft has games now. And for anybody out there that wants to just spin the narrative, well, Microsoft had to buy the studios. Look, PlayStation also buys studios. Not only that, PlayStation also money hats a lot of things to get exclusives like Final Fantasy, which didn't sell well. That's why Square Enix is like, we're going multi-platform, and all the Final Fantasy games are going straight to PC and Xbox. Like Wukong, Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, the original announcement was supposed to be on Xbox. PlayStation went in and money hat that. So you can use the excuse, well, Xbox bought studios. Okay, PlayStation bought Bungie. PlayStation bought the Concord studio. PlayStation buys a lot of studios too. Not only that, they also money hat a lot of these games to prevent them from going anywhere else. So they're just as dirty when you want to think about it. But the fact of the matter is, the state of gaming today is just horrible. We're not getting games the way we should be getting them. They're taking these games and making them way longer than they should be. God of War Ragnarok was way too long. That was a bloated mess of a game. Spider-Man 2 was a bloated mess of a game. There's so much stuff in that. I was literally picking fruit for 2 hours in God of War Ragnarok. Just picking fruit. And then in Spider-Man 2, I'm walking around as Mary Jane and I'm riding a bike with Harry Osborn. Like, what does this have to do with the game? That's the problem. We're so focused on details, like, oh my god, we need to make Aloy's face blush. We need to see through the translucence of the skin to see her blush. Bro, just make a good game. I don't care if they're blushing on the screen. Make a good game. Stop spending $200-300 million and taking 5 years to make these games. Get these games out. And right now, PlayStation is starting to feel the effects of everything that they have done with Jim Ryan. This is absolutely ludicrous. All these canceled games, all these live service games, these are ridiculous. People do not want this, and they do not want this from PlayStation. So that is just my thoughts on it, guys. I think the industry is really hurting right now. I think Xbox is turning it around, whether their perception of hardware and Xbox. If you ask Dreamcast guy, Xbox is dying every single week. I never seen a company die every single week. How can something that's already dead keep dying? But, you know, I digress. But Xbox, I feel, is turning around. They got a great mixture. If you are into racing, they got racing. If you are into action, they got a nice mixture. And a lot of those games are going over to PlayStation, so PlayStation fans will be able to play stuff like Doom Dark Ages. If you're like me and you're on PC, you can just play everything no matter what anyway. But this isn't the PlayStation that I know. And I want PlayStation to go back to the PlayStation that I know, where they're focused on good games. Stop spending so much money, stop doing live service, and stop making these games so incredibly long for no reason. And it's not sustainable. I don't care how many PlayStation 5s you have out. Like, oh yeah, we sold like 60 million PlayStation 5. That's great. But majority of people that buy those PlayStation 5s are playing Madden, Fortnite, Call of Duty. That's what they're doing. They're not buying your God of Wars and all these AAA games. That's the reason why you only sell like 8 to 10 million copies. Like, if you sell 8 million copies of God of War Ragnarok and you sold 60 million consoles, come on, do the math. That's the percentage of people not buying your first party games because they're playing Fortnite, Call of Duty, and Madden. So anyway, guys, my thoughts. Crazy, I know. I want to know your opinion. Let's keep it normal in the comment box below. Let's not start pointing fingers on who's a fanboy, who's not. This is about the video game industry today, not one particular company. But we have to look at the facts. Sony is going down a dark road, and they need to turn that ship around. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Also, before I go, I just want to plug my other channel. This is my streaming channel over at RSG Plays. I stream every single day. I will be streaming Castlevania Lord of the Shadows tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming that. Also, I have a Twitch channel, so you guys can go check that out as well. That's Mr. Storms Inc. over on Twitch. So you can either check out Mr. Storms Inc. over on Twitch, or if you're a YouTuber, you can go check out RSG Plays. I stream on both of them simultaneously. As you can see, I already have stuff up on both. So whatever's on one is on the other. So whatever platform you like. And like I said, tomorrow we'll be doing Castlevania Lords of the Shadow. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you. Have a good day. Stay safe. Thank you. Take it easy.